Hi, this is Karridi with Art by Karridi. Doing a Cornucopia rock today for Thanksgiving. We're going to start off by tracing another template here. Again, I've got this in the comment section where you can print it off or you can freehand it. I have drawn it on some black paper here and cut it out so that you guys can see what I'm tracing here. On this rock, I'm just going to go with just a white background. If you would like, you can paint your background first in a different color, or you can do this on a bare rock. It's up to you. Alright, I will have the lines on the template where you can cut out the circular shape. I'm just going to freehand this. There's a curve at the top. You just take that on around and bring it down to the bottom. And then I'm also going to draw another circle, oval, right inside of there. And that's for the opening of our cornucopia. Now I'm going to take a small flat brush, it's a flat brush, and I'm going to get a medium brown paint, and I'm going to paint this part here, this cone shape with my medium brown. Right now all I'm doing is I'm just going to black in the color. I'll let it dry and then we'll do a second coat and I'll do my shading with that second coat. I'm using the same brush for all of my colors. I'm just kind of wiping it off in the middle in between the different colors. Now I'm using a dark brown for the inside. And then for that little lip around the center part, I'm using kind of a brownish golden yellow. Alright, once that's dry, then we can work on some of our shading. I'm going to go in with my medium brown again. I'm going to do a second coat over the horn of the cornucopia. I'm just putting a nice thin layer, nice and even thin layer. And then I'm going to pick up some of the dark brown paint just on one side of my brush. And I'm going to go along the bottom edge here with that dark brown. And if I just get it on the one side, then I can flip my brush over. And without changing anything with my paint at all, I can start blending that in. If I want a little more dark, I just get, it's a very small amount of paint. You can get a little bit more brown on there. And then flip my brush over again and blend that up into that medium brown color. Using that same dark brown, I am going to do a second coat on the inside of my cornucopia horn here. I just want to make that nice and dark. Wipe off my brush a little bit and get some more of that yellow, again just on one side of the brush, and that's going to go up on the top of this one. And then I'll flip my brush over to blend that in. Right around the edges, getting a little bit of the medium brown on one side. Right around the inside edges here, I'm going to just do a slight shadow. I'm going to do another one up at the top here, and I'll do the same thing near the bottom. Oops, got some of that dark in there. Just like that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of my medium brown. See, I'm not picking up a ton of paint. I'm just getting a little bit. And with a real light brush stroke, I'm going to come in, starting right behind that ring, and kind of blend my paint out. So once that dries, then I'll start blocking in my vegetables. This rock gives me a very large surface to do more vegetables. I'm going to show you what I'm doing on the other rocks, and then later on I might come and add more to this rock just because it's so big. So I'm going to mix up a really light orange color. I'm going super light to block these in. And I'm using a round brush. So I'm going to start with a pumpkin on the bottom. It's kind of like a jelly bean shape, or maybe kind of like a heart with a rounded bottom. And then I'm going to put another one that's kind of on its side right in here. I'm going to go more of an oval shape with this one, just because of how it's positioned there. Next, I'm going to do my gourd. So I'm going to mix up a real light yellow, using similar colors to what I want my finished colors to be, but I'm going really light with them, mixing in a lot of white for really good coverage. And this is just going to be kind of the base coat for the vegetables we're putting in there. I'm going to put a gourd in here. It's kind of a teardrop shape, and then it comes right down to that pumpkin. And then I'm going to do a couple corn stalks. These are kind of a gumdrop shape. I'm going to do a couple of these. And then the next color I'm going to block in is green. And these corn stalks, so I'm just mixing up a really light green right now. Okay. And these are kind of like a soft triangle shape. So instead of hard lines on a triangle, I'm doing soft, soft corners. right down to that cord. And then this one I'm going to kind of bend it a little bit around. Bring it down to and then I'm going to switch to an even smaller tip brush. If you have a dotting tool, that would work really good for this part too. And I'm going to mix up a really light purple. We're going to throw some grapes in there. And grapes are usually in about a kind of a triangular shaped bunch. So I'm going to put these down here. I'm just going to start with like 3 or 4 dots. It's like 3 is a good width. I'm going to offset a couple more. And then I want it a little bit longer than that, so I'm going to throw a couple more dots in here and make my bunch a little bit bigger. And then I'll do the same thing on this side. In this part, we're not too worried about the colors. We want kind of similar to what we're going to do for colors, but going a little bit lighter than normal, you know, lighter than the finished color you want. We're just blocking in that color. And we'll go back and do details once it's dry. So those are my base vegetables. And then once that's dry, then I'll go in and I'll add my details. I'm going to go right back to that purple. This one I blocked in my purple a little bit darker, so I'm going to go in with a lighter color. If I had blocked it in lighter, I would have gone back in with a darker color. I'm just going to kind of dot right over the top, just to kind of give a little more dimension to those. And then I'm going to put some smaller dots in between to just kind of fill up that bunch. Just like that. Do that again on this side. Just put a dot in the middle where you can see both colors. This is just to add a little bit more detail. Without getting too crazy. And then I'm going to go back in and kind of in between and open spaces, I'm just going to put some little teeny dots. And that could be kind of like the grapes behind. Okay, now to the pumpkins. I'm going to go with a darker orange. Got a light orange on there. I'm going to go with a darker orange and just kind of put in some of my sections there, do some shading. So I'm taking this darker orange right around the outside edge, and then I'm going to make kind of a pointed oval like this right inside of there for a couple more sections, and then I'll kind of do a rounded shape and then go right around the edge again, just like that with a darker color. Right. And I want that lighter color in there still, so I'm going to pick up some of my lighter orange. This is just orange mixed with white. It's mixed with a little too much white. going to kind of block it back in there in the middle of those sections, and then I'm going to kind of wipe my brush off to get it where there's very little paint, and then just kind of very lightly blend those together. Highlights in there with the lighter orange. If your paint is starting to dry, you can kind of mix up some in-between colors. And then we'll do the same thing on that little pumpkin that's on the side. Do the darker orange on the edge. Pick up kind of a medium orange. I'm just mixing, orange with white. That's all I'm doing to get these other colors. Just kind of paint some of that red inside of those darker colors. And then a little bit more, an even lighter orange. Add some highlights in there. Blend everything together once I wipe most of the color off my brush. Okay. For the gourd, we're going to do something similar. I'm going to put more of that real light yellow on there. I'm going to pick up a little bit of a brighter true yellow. Come in from the bottom. Just wiping my brush off after I add some of that, so it's a fairly dry brush, and then I'm just blending that up with a real light stroke. I'm going to come in there with kind of a maybe a medium green. Put a couple little lines on there to make it look like a gourd. It's fairly simple like that. So I've already got some green. I'm going to go ahead and do my leaves. I tend to do things, choose what I'm doing next on the color that I've been using. So with these leaves, I'm just going to add some shadows. There's not really a good rhyme or reason to how I'm putting them in there, where they're going. I want some in there right where that corn meets the leaf. Then I'm going to pick up some of my lighter green, again just mixed with white, and I kind of blend that in a little bit. I'm not going for a completely smooth transition. I kind of want some of my different colors to show. And I'm going to get even lighter with my green and do a couple little highlights here. Seems like I always have an alarm going off when I'm doing a tutorial. Sorry about that. Alright, and now I'm going to do a little bit of a medium brown like we did for the horn of the cornucopia, and I'm going to mix that with some of my really light yellow that I mixed up earlier, which was just yellow and white. And this is going to be for my corn. I'm just going to kind of dab on a little bit of that. I'm going to come back with a bright yellow and kind of do the same thing. Just giving very slight variations of color here. They're all within the same yellow family, but it's going to give you a little more depth and dimension to that corn without doing a whole lot of work to get it. I'm going to do the same thing with that brownish orange yellow. Just give kind of the illusion of the different little pieces of corn on the ear. And then towards the bottom of that ear of corn, I'm going to add a little bit more of that brownish yellow just to give it shadow from those leaves. Just right at the bottom there. Now all I need are some stems. I'm going to use that same brownish yellow for a stem on my gourd. Put a little stem in there. And then I'm going to use some medium brown for the stem on my pumpkins. And there you have it. You've got a cornucopia rock. If you would like to write something like be thankful, give thanks, something like that, you can do that. I just used a jelly roll gel pen and I wrote be thankful on this one. You can leave it as is or write something on there, whatever you wish. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to keep watching Art by Karridi for more tutorials each week. Thank you for watching this tutorial by Art by Karridi. Please like, share, and subscribe to see new tutorials each week.